just
play Southern Girl now again.
Hello. How's everyone out there in Alcenia land? Hi everyone. We want to welcome you to our first family live on this February 2021. Everybody glad to be here. They say amen.
Amen.
We know it's the start of our Black History Month, and we are here to celebrate that on today. And we hope that all of you out there enjoy our talk. The Southern Girl is going to be making cocoa. Amen. And so, true to Southern Girl form, it's never just cocoa. We can't never do nothing simple here. So, but we welcome you all today. We got Tawana Moore, T number 1. And we got Brother Jimmy on the ones and twos. We got Southern Girl over there behind the video camera. She's a jack of all trades. She records, she produces, she set up the set. She does it all.
Amen.
Give her a hand in Alcenia land.
Why they at home sleep?
So, we're going to start today. Southern Girl.
Okay, Jimmy.
You ready?
Don't hit me, yeah. Hit me, Jimmy. Hit me. Hey, family. Hey. Something right. Spirit right. Bobby Brown dog. Hey, family. Hey. I'm BJ. Better known no more. I'm HS. Alcenia Chester. Baby girl. Betty George. Hey. Go. Hey. And Alcenia's grand go mom. And today, I'm Elizabeth, Lizzie, Dave, Chester Blank, granddaughter, which is my dad's mom, HS, Chester, like I said, Alcenia Chester daughter, Federal Clark, granddaddy. So family, hey, the kitchen is open and like sand through the hourglass. So are the days of our life. Jimmy, like they say about my afro, you know, this is something we did back in the day. In fact, I took my senior portrait with the afro on.
with an afro?
Yeah, I did. That's how popular they were back in 1972. So I just want to say, hey family, thank you for tuning in today. I know y'all trying to get ready for these Super Bowl parties and everything, but see, you can even make some of this cocoa for the Super Bowl party. But it came to me about how important February is tell me your moment. The month, which my thing is, you know, Black history. If they took me right now and told me to learn something about Black history every day until the day I died, if I lived to be 98 years old like my mom, I could not cover all the Black history. So last night I went through some of my stuff, just trying to find some of my books and stuff. I was trying to find my Uncle Tom's Cabin and my Carter G. Woodson, The Miseducation of the Negro, but I have so many books packed down that in my next home that I will have my library open. So this is one by Susan Taylor. A lot of you all gonna remember her from Essence. She was the editor, and for you Memphis people, what is Jerome? Here he is. Eric Jerome Dickinson. He just died this past, a couple months ago? Mm-hmm. He was originally from Memphis. I don't know if a lot of you all knew that. I was going to bring the picture of Dr. Hooks. Benjamin Hooks was from Memphis that did so many different things, which a lot of people don't even know who Dr. Hooks was. But he was a great civil rights leader, and he was from Memphis, Tennessee. So what I'm going to do today, before we get down to our round discussion, I'm going to make some homemade cocoa. But first of all, Jimmy and Tam, anybody tell me hey?
Yes. Let's see. Deborah Griffin says, "Yay, I made it on time.
Hey,
LA in the
cousin.
house." She also says,
That's my cousin made me the pretty card.
"Said looks good, cousin." Dee Dee Tumbis says, "Hello there, Southern Girl family."
Hey, Dee Dee and Mark.
She also says, "BJ, I say you're the hot chocolate."
Girl, I like that, Dee Dee. I'm the hot chocolate egg, baby. And it wish you was as sweet as me, though, but whatever.
Karen Garner Sanders says,
"Oh, Lord. What your mama say, Jenny?"
"Hi, can I have your wig? Don't forget."
Okay, tell her maybe. Tell her, girl have to do what the girl have to do, boo. Who I look like? Pam Grier. Y'all better ask somebody. Jim don't even know who that is. His eyes all up in the skin. Like, who is Pam Grier? What's that, Jim? Tan, you have anybody? I know I saw Nikki was on there.
Dee Dee.
And Nikki.
And Leah Chester was asking if you're on FB yet. Yes, Nikki, she's live on Facebook.
That's my cousin Nikki, yeah.
Thelma Hickman.
Hey, cousin, from Jackson, Mississippi.
History, cuz.
Oh, I am a Federal Clark. My grandfather had 63 grandkids when he died. I called my auntie this morning to make sure. He was born February the 12th of 1872. And he had 3 wives. And he had 18 by my mom, 9 by his other wife, and 9 by his other wife. He was still farming when he died. He was 93 years old, living by himself. Only went to the hospital one time, have a mole removed. Now, my dad's mom died early in her 40s of tuberculosis, and my father was the only child she had. But when my grandfather died in the 60s, he had 63 grandkids then. So my mom, which is my cousin Thelma in Jackson, is my mother's great niece. Her mother and my father was brother. Nikki is kin to me on my dad's side. Dee Dee, you just part of my family. Now that you're Alcenia's family, Dee Dee. Carol saying the same thing. You've been family, whatever. We just take her in. But family, we're going to go ahead so we can do the cocoa. So we can go ahead and get started at our round table. But I gave you the recipe. I don't usually give you no recipe. But you need milk, homogenized milk. You need cocoa and sugar. That's it. That's all you need. If you want the marshmallows, that's all you need for the hot cocoa. I'm trying to make sure they have it hot, but I don't want it to burn. And sometimes you have to take the skim off of it. But what mom does, like the cocoa, if you look at it now, it got a little skim on it.
Okay.
And what mom does, when you make the cocoa, get your milk hot. Because I'm not going to make, I got some already there because we want to be able to talk. So get your milk hot. Then you take your cocoa, and it's going to be 3 tablespoons. Half a quart of homogenized milk, half a cup of sugar. I doubled the recipe today so they could have more. You take it and you put it in a little bowl, the cocoa. Once the milk get hot, put the cocoa in with the milk and stir it so it won't be lumpy. Then you just add that to the hot milk, add your sugar. You ready to go, family. Anybody out there have had homemade cocoa gel? So that's it for the cocoa.
It's my first time having homemade cocoa.
Oh my God, I'm gonna get ready to show y'all. You know, Jimmy wanted him some bourbon sauce and tea. So since they didn't know I was gonna do, can y'all show my homemade bread pudding? This can be ordered at any time. You can Memphis, you still have time to get it. But thanks, what's coming up? Valentine. So Memphis still have time to get it for Valentine. Now you can make this bourbon sauce different ways. So that's the bread pudding, and Eric Robinson with the River City. He bought one. He was down in 10 Friday, and he sent me a text that, oh, BJ was so good. I said, oh, thank you. And it's my mother's recipe, and we make it with pecans instead of raisins. I'm looking for the whip, you all. Hold on, here it is, the whip. So we got the bourbon sauce on with these 2 Alkins over here. So don't do like I do. Try to put more of the bourbon. No. Put more of the confession of sugar than you do of the bourbon. I try to call Doc, because I think Doc even add a little cream to his. So this is the confession of sugar. And I put a little pure butter in there. When I was on Jack Daniel tour, the bald head guy that's a famous chef, he the one told me about putting the butter in. So this is gonna be it. So I got to get this bourbon sauce ready for them. I already have like I said, I already have the bread pudding, and they be gonna sit down. But I have a surprise. I'm sorry, y'all. I have a surprise for them.
Tell you what.
They did not know I was gonna do this for them. See, they spoiled. They ain't no good. They ain't no good to my queens. Tawana and Tank.
I thought you daughter.
Yay, Queen. Cleopatra.
Oh, you.
Yes. We see this one to G, daughter.
Thank you.
Move on out the way.
For my cocoa.
For your cocoa. Ask somebody how BJ Chesterton. Tomorrow do this. We don't play in here. Southern girl. Oh, y'all need to tell these folks we need a TV show, because we sure we got more original stuff than these other people do. Okay, this is to my home girl, TT, my uncle, my sister.
Yeah.
Right, go ahead and open that up, baby. Open it right there. They didn't know they were going to get those. They thought they were going to drink them out of paper cups.
Sure.
That's what they thought. But we don't do that up in here.
Yes, Queen.
Cleopatra.
How nice.
And Jim, come on around here. This is yours. Yeah, Queen, I did not get you.
That's nice.
Go ahead, baby. Now, Lilbert, if y'all want one for Valentine's, let me know you out there. Who else out there you are?
You got the song like that. Doc said you Cleopatra Jones.
That damn real. Hey, brother. You need to go be taking care of Paige and Dr. Murray. Paige and Dr. Murray. You saw how you try to ask you about your recipe, your little skin yourself. Next time, the doc gonna be on with me, and we gonna be doing a love thing, Valentine. Tawana knew we wasn't. People sent me a thing saying, wait a minute, I'm talking. Come back here. Ask me, Doc, when Doc was on the knees on the picture, people sent me something, Jim asked me, was he proposing? I said, if he was, the rock would have been so big, it would have been blind in your back. Now read what your cup say, Jimmy.
I'm an engineer, I'm good with math. Sometimes.
That's what it say. Don't say more than that, though.
No,
I'm engineer.
The engineer is misspelled. That's the funny
part.
part.
Oh, that's the funny part. Okay,
I'm good with math.
Okay, I'm good with math. Oh, okay.
But not spelling.
Okay, that's Jim. Oh, that's Jimmy's. So I ordered me a cute little teapot that's supposed to whistle, girl, when you put it on the stove. But I'm just gonna go ahead and. You think I need to go ahead and put it in here, or just go ahead and fill y'all cup of it to cocoa? Okay, y'all need to come do that now.
Fill our cups.
Okay, here's the cocoa. Let me see y'all. Get this different here. Let me get my cup.
To overflow.
Okay, let me get my cup, people. Rinse your cup out, baby, because I didn't rinse y'all cup. Okay, see the big green thing. I move out the way. Go ahead and get you all get y'all what is it, baby? Get the cocoa. I was showing the marshmallows too, T. If y'all want some marshmallows,
you can tell them burn up our bourbon.
get the marshmallows if they want it for the
So I can smell it.
yeah, but that's why I had to turn it off. Okay, here's your spoons. Okay, here's the spoon. And they're the forks for your, okay, because it don't take that. So Jimmy and Tan, not Tan, Jimmy and, y'all must have said, you said you don't want any.
I don't want no burger sauce.
Okay, y'all may have, I don't know how much, tell me when, T. Jimmy, tell me what somebody's saying so I can be talking to them while we doing this.
Sharon Brown says, love your look.
Thank you, SB, my homegirl from Memphis. Sharon, see my baby. Y'all better ask somebody. Ain't no bread put New Orleans don't have nothing. Oh, Cleopatra, the Southern gal.
Ira Fowler from Dallas watching.
Hey, Ira, my homegirl, my sip girl that live in Dallas now. Happy Black History Month to you, boo.
Doc says, I heard the phone, but I was in the land far, far away.
Doc said, what year?
I heard the phone, but I was in a land far, far away.
Jimmy Bubby trying to work on them customers. Give me some, baby. Jimmy, you want mushrooms?
Mushrooms? Yes.
Marshmallows. You want some marshmallows?
Yes.
Okay, this is Jimmy's here. See where you gonna sit at, Jim.
Mary Logan Jones says, hey, BJ, I like to read.
Thank you, Mayor. Don't forget, Mayor. Don't forget anybody. If you want to come, Jim, I'll sit up there. I'll sit right here then. You sit there. Because we need to sit one here, one here. You can sit up there, Jim. That's why I need the cameras turned that way. You can sit there. Mary, thank you for coming on this morning. Mary have her house decorated for Valentine's. So hopefully she'll show us some. But anybody that want to come on camera, you can come on camera as well. So let me see what Jim will be able to be seen. Jim, can you do the cameras down where you'll be able to be seen?
Dee Tumpus says your bread pudding is the bomb.
Thank you, Dee. You need to order some. I still need y'all support, family.
Okay.
Let me sit right here, baby. Try to push your chair over more in the middle, baby. Ted, this mine's here.
I didn't think this nothing's wrong with I get you. What?
Tawana has hers, don't she?
What?
Her cup.
Yeah.
So you can go ahead and start talking about your father's Black history while we try to get ready.
Huh?
Who else y'all saw, Jim? Say something.
Same to you, BJ. Love that look.
Thank you, baby.
Ira Fowler.
Thank you, I. Yeah. Okay. T, you can go ahead and start talking about your family, everything. And what you did for Black History Month.
Okay.
Well, tell them, T, what we doing first of all, y'all. We're not doing Martin Luther King. We're not doing Rosa Parks. We're not doing the people that, we know about already. I asked them to try to give me people that you did not know anything about. And if you want to make comments, if you want to come on screen, please come on screen and let us know. Because like I said, so much hurt and pain going on right now in the United States. We do not need to go backwards. And where this going to start from is the house. So people in the house have got to teach their kids about loving each other and about other races and that God made all of us special. Not just one person or one particular group. Okay, Jim.
Okay.
Okay, T, you can go here, baby.
Well, starting off, I was going to start off.
T, take your mask off so people can't understand. Ain't about about you, baby.
Okay. Well, starting off, I want to show, these are my parents, Rosie and William Blakely, back in their younger day. And this is my mom with her siblings, Aunt Edna, Aunt Kate, Uncle Nate in the back, Aunt Dorothy, and Aunt Ernestine, two on here. They're still living, so praise God for that they're in their 80s and they're still living. Also had just a picture. This is my grandfather, my mother's dad. His name is Luther, and this is her mom, Elsie. Never got a chance to meet her. And they always say, and BJ always talk about her village, and it does take a village to raise a family. And I just want to give a special shout out to this lady right here, Maxine Young. She is definitely a matriarch of our family, of the Young family. This little boy right here is so blessed. My grandson, she takes care of him every day. She's in her 80s, just had a birthday,
And he's 3 years old now, and she's had him since he was about 6 weeks old. And she feeds him every day. She reads to him. He goes to virtual school, but she's right there, you know. So she takes on that. So that's why I love the fact that it takes a village to raise a child. And then my daughter and my other granddaughter, and then that's my little handsome fella right there. So blessed to have all of them in my life, and my kids, Isaac and Tristan as well. We need to definitely get back to our Black history. And also, a lot of times, the BJ brought this to my attention when we were talking about, a lot of people now, we always talk about Uncle Tom. Is somebody, you know, first thing we think of, somebody, a Black person, betrays somebody or does something that we feel is not right. First thing we call him is Uncle Tom. But that's not who Uncle Tom is. Uncle Tom is actually, he was a slave, and he actually was beaten to death to protect the whereabouts of 2 other slaves, that he would not give up their whereabouts. So he was beaten to death. So that's what Uncle Tom is. Uncle Tom is not a traitor.
And he also stayed behind. When he could have gone, and left, he stayed behind so that the other slaves could go. So when I did my book report, when I was in college, I compared Uncle Tom to Martin Luther King, to Medgar Evers, and to Malcolm X, about somebody that made a difference in African American life. So like T said, I tell people, if you never read the novel, and I didn't read it till I was grown, that you truly don't know what an Uncle Tom is. I'm sorry, T.
No, you're fine. You're fine. And I had another lady that I wanted to speak of. I don't know, you know, everybody, we have security systems everywhere now, you know, and everywhere you look, you got the ring, you got all kinds. But it was a Black lady that actually came up with the first, her and her husband actually came up with the first security camera. And it was back in 1966. And her name was Maria Van Britton Brown. And she came up with the first security camera, her and her husband. He was an electrician, and so together they worked to make the first security camera. So that was something that I found was interesting in the research and the reading that I did. And there's so many of them. There's so many of them out there. And even with Carter G. Woodson, Mr. Woodson, actually, he was the one that actually started Black History Week, because he didn't want people to forget, and he wanted to recognize, basically they called him the father of Black history, because in February 1926, he launched the celebration of Negro History Week and the precursor of Black History Month. So he was actually, you know, born a slave and former slaves, and Wilson had to be put off. He had to put off his schooling while he worked in the coal mines of West Virginia. And he graduated from Berea College and became a teacher and a school administrator. And he gained graduate degrees at the University of Chicago in 1912 and was the second African American of W.B. Du Bois to obtain a PhD degree from Harvard University. So,
But T, do you know why they changed it to a month? And who changed it to a month? And when did they change it to a month?
when did they change it to a month? No, it just says that he started.
You know,
he basically started it. Cause
When
I mean,
did
you
they
can't
change
get a lot in a week.
Don't do it.
Jimmy, you know we doing a round table.
Well, because it kind of coincided with birthdays. They got Lincoln and
Frederick Douglass' birthday. Yeah, and it was changed in 1976 to a month. So if you didn't know it, that's why they changed it to a month, because in February, because of Lincoln and Abraham Lincoln and Frederick Douglass, and it was changed in 1976.
Mm-hmm.
Okay.
So they didn't choose the shortest month of the year.
No, they did not. Ms. Brown.
Yeah.
Jim, anybody got any question out there or making any comments?
Not yet. Dee Thomas says, love your village. Leah Chester says, finally found you on Facebook.
Okay.
Dee Thomas. Doc says, oh Lord, I'm so sorry. Oh, he posted the recipe for the hot chocolate if anyone wants to.
I don't want no hot chocolate. It is my recipe or somebody else, because he lying to be on posted Martha Stewart's recipe or somebody.
I don't know. It has butter, sugar.
No, that's not. No, that's for the bourbon sauce. He purchased that for the bourbon
that's the
sauce,
bourbon
not the
sauce,
brown
yeah.
sugar. Okay, but tell him I don't need it now.
Okay.
Don't need it now. We eating. We don't need it. Calling Dr. Murray, calling Dr. Murray. As Donna Price, I always like for me to say that. Okay, anybody, nobody saying ain't nobody on your stuff on Instagram. I'm making any comments.
Let's see if I can put my Facebook page back up so I can see something too.
Can you have people join the group too? Anybody say anything? Okay, but Jimmy, since you are the younger generation down at the other end of the table,
Yes.
Tan get ready to show you. Can you see Jimmy on Facebook? Tan gonna change it. Okay. Jim, what did you learn? What questions you have about Black history? Tell us about you and your family first, and I'll tell people at the end why I'm having, when I come to me, why I'm having people to do about the family.
Well,
Sorry, y'all.
I don't have any pictures of me and my family, sadly. I don't keep a lot of printouts, but just a quick overview. Shout out to my mom. I think she's watching, Karen Garner Sanders. She's not originally from Memphis. I'm pretty sure. I think she's from like Indiana. And she, she moved down here when she was younger. Her and my grandma was a single mother most of the time, and she raised my mom and her sister and two other sons.
What's your grandmother's name?
Oh, my grandmother's name is Ella Garner. It was recently her birthday. I don't know if she wants me to say how old she is, but she is still very young and beautiful for her age. Is that okay to say?
Your mom will say something.
My mama loves telling her age.
Um,
Your dad.
my dad, Jimmy Lee Sanders Jr., who I'm named after. I'm the third. I don't know too much about my grandparents on that side. They both passed before I was, well, pretty much when I was like very young, like 1 years old.
And see, that's what you got to find out.
Yes.
And see, that's why it's so important. You shouldn't know everybody else's history if you don't know your own history.
True.
Okay.
I believe he has about 12 or 13 siblings or so who
Big family.
originally from, I want to say, somewhere in northern Mississippi. I want to say Corinth. Is that northern Mississippi?
Okay.
And
Brother and a sister. Tell that
oh
right
yes,
quick.
I have a brother, Joshua Sanders. He serves in our military. He's part of the Air Force. He's currently in Germany. Working. I forget what rank he is. I think he's a sergeant working in airplane repair over there. And I have a younger sister. Her name's Jariah Joy Louise Watkins Sanders. She's great as well. And I think that's.
And what did you learn? I mean, what did you...
my little fact.
What's your fact?
It's pretty relevant to now with the whole coronavirus and pandemic situation going on.
Okay.
I think a lot of people, if you know anything about like vaccinations and things like that, I think, there's obviously a little apprehension at some of the effects and side effects and things that vaccinations have. And if you know anything about the history of it, generally, I think most people associate the creation of vaccines with a white man by the name of Edward Jenner. I think he's English. He created the smallpox vaccine. If you ask any of your like great grandparents about it, they probably suffered pretty drastically from the smallpox epidemic. It was the coronavirus before the coronavirus was the thing, I believe. They associate him with creating it, but actually the first instance of not only vaccination in the U.S., but just like.
Okay, Jim, just tell something.
Okay. I'm sorry, talking too much. Anyway.
Okay, who African American did the African American discover it?
Yes, he brought it over from America. It
Now, who was
originated.
that?
His name was Onesimus. Onesimus. He was a slave of some preacher in Boston, and when smallpox hit there, he introduced vaccination. Obviously, they didn't agree with it, and I think he was imprisoned for it. But he saved lives.
Okay.
80% of Boston or something.
You know what year that was?
Somewhere over here. I think it was like 1721.
Okay, what other facts did you find?
another interesting thing, can you the first like black senator of a state in the Americans? I was surprised to find what state it was. It's like the least likely state, if anyone can guess it.
Mississippi, Alabama?
Yeah, Mississippi.
Okay.
Mississippi, the first black senator. His name was Hiram Revels.
What year?
He was elected in, I want to say 1870, I believe. And yes,
Okay.
he served in the Civil War. He led 2 Black Union Army regiments, and he was also an ordained minister as well, and served.
Anybody making any comments about anything in history or
Let's see.
want to come on camera?
I see 16. How many you see, 10? 16 people? I want to see Instagram. He sees Facebook.
I move the camera.
But while Jimmy's doing that, when he's talking about, okay, Jim, so I told you to do some black facts. This was an inventor. Well, what he did, he patented. See if anyone of you all know this. He patented 2 things. He patented the gas mask, and I talked about it this morning when I asked people to come on. And he also did the traffic light. And I was grown when I realized he discovered the traffic light, because Jet used to have, they used to, when we had the Jet magazine, they would always post black facts that was so important. Because a lot of us, you all, as African American, I know I did growing up in Marine, Mississippi, we had Black History Month, but the curriculum wasn't teaching us our history all through our, life, and it should have been. Even though you're gonna take American history, world history, you also should take Black Studies. I didn't take Black Studies until I went to Moore and on. I don't know how much history, but I still had to take that. So, do either one of you all know who discovered the electric light and the gas mask?
Garrett A. Morgan did the.
Look at him. God, my G-Dog. What did he do, T?
He developed the
stoplight. The pad, right. And what else did he do? He did also the gas mask. And out in Jet, they had said that they wouldn't use it until Chicago had a fire. But when I read something the other day, also him and some more white Caucasian men, there was a mine explosion in Cleveland, where he was from. And they went underground, and they saved some people, even though they lost a lot of people, but they used the gas mask. They gave the Caucasian people credit until the day he died. He never had credit for doing that particular thing.
There was somebody else that had that too. And I want to say it was Woodson, because I remember seeing it, but it wasn't the same name.
Carl G. Wilson didn't discover the red light and the gas mask, though.
It was enough for the same as the gas mask.
Oh,
I
the gas
remember
mask,
seeing it
okay.
and talking, I read what they went
Talk about it.
around with that. So, okay.
Jimmy, did you have any other black fact?
Well, no, but just a note about that last guy I was talking about, Haran Rebels. Just another example of, I guess, black graciousness in the face of, oppression. When he was elected as senator, and it was that post-Civil War time, it was Reconstruction.
Okay.
And obviously the Union wanted to kind of, punish as many of the, Confederate generals and whatnot as possible, but he made it very much a point to try and just increase, peaceful relations with those individuals, and how about education and employment for African Americans and things like that. So just he took the peaceful kind of methods to try and improve our situation and reconcile after all the suffering of slavery and whatnot.
Okay. Next is 10. Anybody have any questions? Anybody making any comments? If you're out there, if you want to make a comment or want to come on camera, we want you to be part of this conversation, because it's so important. It don't matter if you're African American or you're white. I mean, we want everybody involved, because I just feel like this is too important, and that and a lot of us don't even know a lot about our own history. So therefore, we can't expect anybody else to know about something that you don't know about yourself. So, what about you, Miss Tanja Brown?
So, hold on. Let me turn it around. Hi, Instagram and Facebook. So, I have 2 interesting facts for you guys today. The first one is Miss Alice Ball. She developed a cure to leprosy. And the second one is Lauren Anderson. She was the first principal ballerina dancer for the Houston Ballet Company. So those are my 2 black facts. But as we were doing this, BJ kept...
BJ, excuse you.
You're BJ right now.
No, I'm not.
So the lady in the wig, she kept saying, "You can bring pictures of your family. Bring pictures of your family." And I'm not one. One thing I've learned, which I appreciate from my godmother, is the way she records the history of her family. And I've known her maybe 11 years now. And so if you wonder how I became her goddaughter, she chose me. So that makes me special.
Very.
So, but since I've met her, it's been my goal to record my family's history. And I started in 2019 interviewing my aunts and uncles. But I've been very, what's the word? I'm going to make up a word. Procrastinating about it. So, but I lost an auntie in October, so it's made me, it's rejuvenated that in me to get it done before we lose more of my aunts and uncles. And so I'm taking this time to talk about my family. And this is a saying that I have in my house. It says, family is not an important thing, it's everything. So, and to me, and I'm trying to make it through this without crying. Because of the pandemic, we haven't seen my family. We get together every holiday. We eat together as a family every holiday. A holiday does not go by that we don't share a meal. And so when the pandemic started, I have a joke with them that the New Year's 2020 was the first holiday ever since my entire life that we did not get together as a family and have a meal. And I told them, I said, it's because y'all didn't get together and had a meal that the world's going through what they're going through. That's you know, an off-color joke. But so I'm going to start with my grandmother. Her name, Melinda Dorothy Julius. That's her. That's her. She's a pretty woman. Pretty black woman. And so this is also her too. I wanted to show this picture because my grandmother, she sewed, she did hair, she sang, she did it all. My grandmother had 9 kids. This is they. These are they. This is them, however you say it. Marsha, Billy, Janet, Michael, the twins, Ben and Vaughn, Phyllis, Willis, and then Tanja. I'm named after an aunt. So my mom said she named me after my aunt so she could have a babysitter. So nothing special there either. But my grandmother had 9 kids. She was a single mother and she did it by herself. And the thing that's so amazing to me is, because yes, people have kids all the time, but they weren't hungry. They didn't go without lights. And when we were little, it's 17 grandchildren. We didn't know we were poor until we grew up. My grandmother made everything special. This lady reminds me of my grandmother. She celebrated every holiday. My grandmother was on a fixed income when she got a certain age. She got sick. She was on a fixed income. She got all of us Christmas gifts. All of us. All 9 children. All 17 grandchildren. Great-grandchildren, they came along. Her godchildren. Everybody got a gift. She decorated every holiday. Christmas, her house was lit up on the block from lights all around. And so, when I say that, you have a lot of people. Maya Angelou, she may not have originated, but I heard it from her and I heard you say it. You don't know where you're going if you don't know where you come from. And so one of my biggest regrets is that I didn't sit down with my grandmother before she passed away to get history from her. And so I encourage each of you out there that still have your people around, sit down and find out your history. One thing I realized we get caught up in comparing our history to other people's history. And, oh, her grandmother were sharecroppers, or they were slaves, and their history is their history. Your history is your history. They may not have developed the cure to leprosy or cancer, but that's their history, and you have to record and know your history and what's important to you. And mine is a legacy of love. My grandmother passed on love, not just to us, but everybody around her. Everybody on the block knew who my grandmother was. My grandmother was active in the community. With all 9 of her kids, she was active in school. And that's encouraging to another young mother. You may not have, it's amazing to me because she had 9. I didn't have but 2, and I was about to pull my hair out. So it's encouraging somebody else coming along that you can do it no matter what come along around you. My grandmother believed in God. Everything. We heard my grandmother praying in the house out loud. So my grandmother left us a legacy of love and a legacy of Christ. And so that is what carries our family on. Do we have a perfect family? No. Do we have crazy people? Yes. But we make it through and we stick together because of the legacy of love that my grandmother left for us.
What's your t-shirt say? What happened? Everything.
My t-shirt says, I love the woman I become because I fought to be that woman. And I made it. See, Linda's legacy from my grandma.
Oh, I'm sorry. Stand up and show what your t-shirt says. Wow. See how jealous they are each other.
See my t-shirt says, I am Black History. When I have the matching mask to match it. And this is courtesy of my cousin, Bells.
And tell Bell Deal they need to order something from Alcenia, the most promotion you do on this. You need to order something from Alcenia, whoever you are.
Love it.
Then I'll support you, because that's where it comes from. Yeah. You know, that's Black History colors. I mean, those are your colors right there. AJ Okote gave me this mask. You know, that also called land, people.
Those are colors of Africa.
Yeah. Land, people, blood. Miss C, T, you say, okay, you didn't tell who your 2 kids were, and your mom and your dad.
My children, my parents, the one and the only Bobby Brown, the real Bobby Brown, and Yvette Spirit Brown. Those are my parents, and my children are Kiana and Latarius.
Okay, is anybody saying anything? I can't believe nobody's not saying that. Jerome Chelsea not out there, because Jerome was a history major. He's not out there.
I don't see him. Doc has a fact here.
Okay, read Doc fact, please.
My fact is startling. The majority of people of color enslaved in America were indigenous people. The concept of large numbers of people of color brought by transatlantic trade is an erroneous teaching. Guess who is the direct descendant of Chicken George? No lie. Family genealogy traced. I think Doc is saying he's a descendant of Chicken George. I don't know who that.
He probably is a descendant of Chicken George and married something else.
I am Roots. What is that? Is Chicken George in Roots?
Yeah. Yes.
So T, how's the bourbon sauce?
I told you, it's good, Doc. Yeah.
It is good.
You did a good job.
You can taste the bourbon.
Right, Jim. You taste the bourbon.
How did y'all like the hot chocolate for saying like your first time having hot chocolate?
It's
That's
delicious.
good.
Yeah,
I mean, once you have hot chocolate made, you'll never buy that instant stuff again. Yeah. Nobody else stand up on Instagram saying.
Jimmy Dee said, loving everybody's family history.
Oh, hold on, we got some.
Okay, let's finish by Dee Dee. Take the mask off. We folding up the part, baby.
Okay. She's saying she's loving everyone's family history, Dee Dee.
Okay, T, what you have?
Thelma says, great roundtable discussion. It's up to us to make our history stay in the forefront every day.
Right.
Right.
T, you need to push that back so you can get on, come down from so we can get on it. Instagram.
Janet said, hey, Southern family.
Hey, Janet.
Hi, Janet.
Lord, Ewan. That's my
And Janet said she made some this morning, hot cocoa.
Okay. Well, Janet, no, we both from Meridian, Mississippi. Like I said, we had so much pride going up. And let me tell you, family, like they say, Carter G. Woodson was the person that originally started Black History. But I guess with me, Black History have always been important to me and my family. And like I say, my grandfather, who had, like I say, 9 and 7, so 26 kids. They said he would have the last work in the church, after the preacher. So he always wore Like on here he has suspenders, but he would wear the coveralls, they say, with the bow tie. And you know, that's where he dressed going to church in his jacket. I can remember my grandfather. My grandfather was a strong black man, and when he died, he had 300 some acres of land. So I thought there was a lot of land at one time till I learned that there was people that have over 1 million, 2 million acres of land in the United States. And then you wonder, how did you acquire that type of land? It's so much that I want to say, so much that's on my heart. I'm going to ask them some questions now. Okay, who is Sarah? Okay, right. That's right. Y'all have been reading. Who is Sarah Breedlove? Now, I know you know this T in Tawana Boat because you've seen it. Right, let Jimmy tell me. Jimmy, who is Sarah Breedlove?
Sarah Breedlove.
Breedlove.
I'm going to guess an actress.
Who is the first self-made woman millionaire, black woman millionaire, Jimmy?
Madam C.J. Walker.
That's who Sarah Breedlove.
Oh.
And I didn't know that till I looked at her documentary that's on Netflix. I thought her name was C.J. Walker. C.J. Walker was her husband's name that she took on. Yeah, so did anybody out there know that Madam C.J. Walker's real name was
Sarah Breedlove.
Sarah Breedlove. Yeah.
I saw the documentary.
I didn't either. I didn't know that. Okay, Rosa Parks family was not the first person to sit on the bus. Rosa Parks was the first one that they sent to go sit on the bus. But 9 months before that, another person sat on the bus at the age of 15 before Rosa Parks. T.
What?
Who was the person that sit on the bus?
I don't know who she was.
Jimmy?
It was Colvin.
Claudia Cole.
Claudia Colvin.
Claudia Cole. That was the first one.
Back again.
Y'all can put them brains together. And she was 15 years old. And she sat on the bus before Rosa Parks. I know, but I was grown when I heard that. You see what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Another thing, she was dark complexion. She was, so we have racism within our own selves. You know what I'm saying? So we don't keep it real today. So she was dark skinned. Now I read somewhere that she had a child. I don't know if that's true because the last thing I read didn't say nothing about a child. But she was not as attractive as Rosa Parks. So then they waited 9 months later and they go send Rosa Parks. Now here this woman is, and she, I don't know about now, but she I think was living in New York or Chicago. I think New York. But never got the recognition that she so rightfully deserved. So, let me see, baby. So, like, see what I'm saying? Dark complexion, looking like, you know, most of us look. Let me see another one.
Doc said she was pregnant also at the time.
See, that's what I'm saying. I thought I had read that, too. Yeah, she was 15 years old, and she refused to give up her seat on the bus. Yeah, but see, when I read the last thing, it did not say that. Anybody else saying anything before I go on to the next one?
Frankie Williams says, I thought Papa had 14 kids.
Frankie, our grandfather, his first wife had 9. Mama Betty, who I'm named after, had 18. 9 plus 18 is what?
9 plus 18.
I can't add.
26. 26.
9 plus
9 plus, I mean 18 plus 9 is
27.
But 27, I can't count either. 27. Then Frankie, his last wife, didn't have any. He outlived every last one of them.
Wow.
And like I say, he was 93 when he died, living by himself. Now, Frankie, you are you used to be an English teacher. She ain't asked me nothing. Ain't nobody else asked nothing. Made no comments, yeah.
Back to your comment about the sitting on the bus. I had a girlfriend, Valerie. I have a girlfriend, Valerie Sproles. Her mother passed away last week. And
Sorry about that,
her.
Valerie.
But in her doing her obituary, she was one of the first here in Memphis to not sit on the bus to be part of that movement. And so
You mean not to ride on the bus?
Not to ride on the bus.
Okay.
She didn't move. When they told her to move, she would not move. She's one of the first here in Memphis. Her name was Dr. Betty Hobbs.
See, and that's awesome. And that's what now, people don't really stand up for stuff like that. I mean, you know, we just kind of go along. We don't want to, in fact, my pastor, Lawrence was preaching about that this morning, about how Muhammad Ali, or how Jim Brown, and how, you know, Cabernet, you know, once, you know, now, you know, and y'all might get mad at me, I don't care. But this Cabernet, is that his name?
Cabernet.
Okay.
Cabernet.
Nick, he stood up by himself. Okay, once George Floyd got killed, then you have all these African American athletes coming out now. I'm so and so, so and so. I'm so and so, so and so. I'm so and so, so and so. You want to take a stand? But when he was out there standing by himself, alone on that tree limb, risking his career, not neither one of you Negroes came out and talking about you was nobody. Stop doing it. Stop doing it. If you can't stand up, if you don't stand for something, you'll fall for nothing. That man stood up by himself and lost his career. And until it was safe, then all of a sudden you want to be so black. You ain't black. Another my saying said, it's very hard to be black. No, it's very hard to, what I always say, it's very hard to talk black.
It's very easy to talk
black, but it's very hard to be black. And that's what he was doing. He was being black. And he lost his career. You see what I'm saying? That's what the leaders before us did. I'm going to ask you all another question. They probably know because they hear me say this all the time. Who was the pastor at Ebenezer Baptist Church before Martin Luther King?
His granddad?
No, man.
Was it
In Montgomery. He was the person that caused for Martin Luther King to come and get the job at the church that he got that job at, because he had doctors, lawyers, and people like that. And his sermon that he was preaching, he preached one that it was okay to hang the N-word, right? So they was like, oh, you don't need to be talking about that. You just need to be quiet because everything is going great for us. His saying was, if all of us are not doing good, then we're not doing good. I can't sit down. So his board, what you call those people at the church, elders or whatever, they let him go. So he suggested Martin Luther King. His name was Vernon John.
Okay.
I did not know about Vernon John till Connie Chong did something years and years and years and years ago about Vernon John. Look him up. Look him up. See, like I said, when I was at Black, now I learned that before the morning. But another thing, I'm going to ask you all this, y'all probably heard me say, de facto and de jure. What is de facto, de jure racism?
You know we don't know.
Again, thank you, Black colleges, university, baby. Shout out to you. I don't care what nobody say. You have to take Black studies. De facto, de jure. De jure is what we're going through right now. Well, not kind of, because we're almost de facto now because they're not hiding it. One is hidden, one is seen. I was talking to Lieutenant Whitmore other day. He went to Lemoyne. He's a lieutenant at the fire department here. He had heard of it. I'm trying to think if I spoke to anybody else. And when I read it to get a more clear understanding of it, de jure is just like when you in the neighborhoods or you in the church, you segregate yourself. De facto is when it's out and you can see it. And the racism that you can't see is almost always more dangerous. When we got the police or ministers, whoever, when they are hiding the racism, that's more dangerous than we know what these people done when they went on their Capitol. Because then you see it, you know where they're coming from. Remember that, de facto, de jure. Two type of racism.
One is law.
Thank you, Lemoyne Owen.
D. Iman Hickman said, preach, BJ.
Hey, thank you, girl. Pass the plate around, pass the plate around. Then, okay, Tanya should know this because they hear me talk about him. I was grown again, called my mom with tears in my eyes because I had never heard of Benny Thomas. Benny Thomas, please family, black and white, go out and rent the movie, Something Special That the Lord Has Made. Something special that the Lord has made.
You know how to rent movies in.
Okay, well, whatever y'all have to do. Who invented that? I don't know. But Benny Thomas did the Blue Baby Syndrome. He was, I think, originally from Mississippi, then his Tennessee. So he had his money in the bank to go to college. Thurgood Marshall represented his brother in the Brown versus the Board of Education. And he had his money in the bank in Nashville to go to medical school. The bank ended up closing. So he didn't have no money to go to medical school. So he ended up working at a hospital as a janitor. But he started picking up stuff himself in the lab. This doctor, if you look him up, came in and said, who taught you that? You know. So he started working with him some too. So when he went, the doctor left. He wanted him to come with him to John Hopkins. Make a long story short, they go to John Hopkins, but he's still going as like a.
The janitor.
No, he was going as a lab tech. But he came up. He was one of the people to help come up with about the blue baby syndrome, and that's when the baby, turned blue or whatever. So the doctor didn't know how to perform the surgery, so he told him go get him. Now this by the movie. I hadn't read the book, and because movies and books be different. So he's standing. So they told him a black man couldn't come up in the observation deck. So he could go get him. So then he told him call him on the intercom. They said a black man couldn't even be called over the intercom. So finally they got him. He go up in observation deck. He teach the doctor. He instruct the doctor on how to do the blue surgery, which saved the baby. They had a honoring. They was honoring them. So he went. He acted like he was a server because he just wanted to see what his name gonna be called. Name not mentioned nowhere. Finally, John Hopkins did recognize him, but they didn't recognize him as a doctor. They gave him an honorary doctorate degree in something else. I have to look that up.
Janet says he also went to Jackson State and Tougaloo College.
No, he didn't, Jay. When I tell you about history, family, when I tell you about history, please get that movie and look at that movie. What else Jay said about it?
That's it.
Okay, let me see, baby. I told about that.
Karen said got it.
Karen said what?
She said she's in Atlanta too.
But tell her.
Janet said he was from Bolton, Mississippi.
Well, tell her son didn't tell that. I'm in Alcenia, Chester Show was in them. This food I am. Okay. What Janet said, baby?
He was from Bolton, Mississippi.
Bolton, Mississippi. Oh, he was a sip girl, huh?
Sip man.
Sip man.
Yeah.
Okay, then I have a John Kellogg that he was the creator for the Kellogg cereal. I didn't know that. So, that was in 1895. Then I had about the open heart surgery. Okay. Marva Collins. Who was Marva Collins? Marva. M-A-R-V-A.
Collins child.
Mr. Mrs. Collins child. That was not her. Marva Collins was a person that was in Chicago, and she was an educator. And she was not satisfied with the school system there. So what she did was, because she felt like every child could learn if they was given the opportunity. And I know this is true because when my son was in the 3rd grade, he was at a private Catholic school and they had phonics. And the teacher there was older than me. And like I told him, I've never in my life, had phonics. But this man had phonics and he was younger than me. So my thing is, nobody's smarter than anybody if you're given a chance.
Yeah.
Just like these kids nowadays, you got some schools, private schools, the kids are still going to school. Public school, kids are not going to school, in which they don't need it because it's not safe. So I'm not disagreeing with that. But you got to give people a chance. You can't put people down for not knowing something. If I'd never been taught it, I didn't know it. Just like somebody was going to try to tell me one day something that my child was reading on. He was in 8th grade, was reading on a 3rd grade level. But this test they had given him. So let me see the test. You take the test. And then you come back and you tell me what you got. Because see, I don't know nothing on that either. Don't give me no test about my child and tell me what my child reading on when he ain't never been taught this. Yeah. Or he ain't never seen this.
That's basically what the
and that's what the whole system.
Carter
G. Wilson also talked about the miseducation of a Negro, that you don't have to tell a person to go to the back door if you get their mind. And sometimes your most educated Negroes are the ones that are the most crazy. Because they think they're better than everybody else, and you think like when the people at Vernon John Church were saying, oh, we need to be quiet, we need to shut up, because we got it. So since we got it, we don't care about the people behind us. So I'm not just talking about white people, I'm talking about black folks. Let me tell you something, because I have had some white folks better to me since I've been in business than my own kind. So I'm going to keep it real. So stop getting on here preaching, preachers and everybody else. I heard somebody this morning. You can do all that preaching about this, but if you ain't doing it, it's easy to talk that stuff. I know when you get up there and say about what you're going to do that you ain't done. Because I've been in business 23 years. So stop. That's why I say it's easy to talk black, but it's hard to be black. Because a lot of times, us as a race, we talk about stuff, but we're not truly helping each other. Because when we empower each other, nobody can do anything to us anyway.
Yeah.
And we got to stop following other races for the things that we can make better, that we don't make better. So like I'm saying,
a lot worse than we did back then. And they can persevere and go through and do and accomplish some of the things that they did. We should be able to do.
And we don't have no more leaders.
Yeah.
I mean, to me, when what's his name died, John Lewis died.
John Lewis, yeah.
To me, that was the last one. This man took beatings like nobody else, and I respect him in some aspect more than I do King. That's just my opinion. I have a right to my opinions. I don't care what nobody else say. This is my opinion. Because this man was beat, and he kept going back. You see what I'm saying? And that's why when I put on my family stuff other day, that you got to love within your own family first. You got to love them. You got to know who you are and where you came from before you can go to somewhere else. I appreciate all the history before me, but I also appreciate this man that when he did his field and when somebody wouldn't pay him a fair price for his, my mom said, for his crops, he would roll that wagon on to the next person. So if you don't take pride in where you came from, then how am I honor somebody else? That's why I can honor these people I'm talking about. So because I took pride in these people that made it before me. So that's why every day I pray to God, thank you for my mama, thank you for my daddy, thank you for my ancestors. Because I could have easily been out on the street, I could have easily been on drugs. I never get it twisted. But family, it's still hard. And that's why I said we're having this conversation, because we need to show more love, and we need to stop playing. We need to stop playing. We need to do better in our race. We need to do better toward each other.
Amen.
We need to do better. And like I'm saying, I can tell you some stories. You know, I can tell you some stories. I know it was so many thoughts. Then after I get off, then I'll think about it. This is a book.
Can't cover everything alive.
I know, baby. This is a book here. And normally when I buy books, I write the date. But somebody gave me this book, or told me to buy this book, The Greatest Salesman in the World. This is something else, and it's based on really religious Omar Mandingo. And I started back reading it today because it's been so long since I read it. When it say everybody cannot be the world's greatest salesman. Because God chose the people to be the salesman. This man gave away all his fortune. His helper, accountant, was trying to think, what are you doing? Are you crazy? But he practiced the principle. He had some strolls. I got to go back and finish. I read it so long ago. But the gist of the book is, when you do what God tells you to do, and what God tells us to do is, you got to be giving. You got to give, and you can't wait till you get there in order to give. You got to give when you don't have.
And love one another.
And love one another. And when you do that giving, God will bless you so astronomically. Yes. And see, don't get me to shouting and running up down through this place, because I will. Because I know, like I say, you can mess with me, but you don't mess with my God. So this is not a black book, but this is one of the greatest little bit of small books that you can read. This right here, like I said, is one of my books. That if you all know Megan Good, this is Megan Good's husband. When somebody had talked to me about a TV show, Lauren Weber and Christine, how's Christine pronounce her name? Tegan. I want to thank them. Chinese, Caucasian woman, and a black girl. We're the melting pot. And we're going to get there one day, along with my crew. They had came to me 3 years ago and talked to me about a TV show. Lauren came here. Lauren made the, gorgeous concept. Remember we had the family down at the restaurant. Just gorgeous. Never happened. Told Lauren, they think I'm middle-aged, African-American woman, not cussing and fighting. So they don't think nobody's interested in that type of show. So Amela had this book. Devon Franklin had came to Memphis. And two of my favorites is the 10 Principles, 10 Commandments, Hollywood Commandment, but you can use it in everyday life. Two of the favorites, my favorite out the 10 in here, the third one say, you have to carry the crown before you can wear the crown. Now, baby, that's powerful. You better have somebody. You say it again. You have to carry the crown before you can wear the crown. And y'all know, family, what I've been telling God, Lord, Lord, Lord. My hand's been here for so long. Can I go ahead and put it on my head? Because I am ready to wear this crown. Another one that he says here is that, okay, the 10th one, it says, your prayers alone aren't enough. And what he means, you can pray all you want to pray. But if you're not putting in the work, ain't going to happen. Another one, the second one say, you are the talent. When I read the book, that's saying you got to believe in you. This thing here is so powerful. And you got to believe that you can do it. The next, this is my favorite. You have to carry the crown before you can wear the crown. The next, the fourth one is, you have to know the rules in order to play the game. But you don't give up who you are, but you got to know how to do it in order to get there. Then your gut is your hidden God. Follow your gut instinct because God's telling you what to do. The number 6 is you get what you negotiate, not what you're worth. You might not be worth nothing, but if you're a good negotiator, you can sell yourself. You know what I'm saying? And then you could be worth a lot, but don't know how to sell yourself. The next one is you must master the walk of fame. That's number 7. Number 8 is your difference is your destiny. Your next one is your amnesia is an asset. Forgetting the past and looking for the future. Because I have a thing they'll say, it's 2 days of the week that you can't do anything about. That was yesterday and tomorrow. Only thing you have is right now. Another one say, your world is smaller than you think. And I have been in Hawaii. My cousin told me, he said somebody know me in Memphis, that how you all, my name even come up. But also in the book, he say, you want to take the stairwell. You always want to take the elevator. But you never want to go up the steps. So family, you got to go up the steps, baby, because God ain't just letting God gonna do his part. But you got to do your part. And this is another thing, the bookstore is closed. Not to go to black bookstores all the time. But this was like 365 days calendar each day. It had something in there for black history. I'm trying to see you. I was something else that I had. The back door of the jury, we talked about that. Oh, another thing I was going to talk about, my only child, as you all know, was Will A. Tamayo III. My child was killed by a motorcycle accident in 1996. Alcenia born 97. Gogo was going straight. The postal truck pulled out in front of him. They gave my child a ticket. We never even went to court. I had 3 or 4 attorneys, including, I won't call his name, including a black attorney that I started to kill. I'm just being honest with you. I started running down. And Mary Reed told me, she said, I'm glad you didn't. Because he never even turned into discovery. I went to white attorneys, I went to black attorneys, nobody, my child case never even went to court. And I told this attorney that you don't mess with people's lives. You know, you don't play with people. And to tell you how I started to kill him, he was going across the street one day in the federal building. And my car, the devil said, run him down. And God said, don't. So as fast as God told me not, the devil told me to, God told me not. You can't play with people's lives. You know, and black lives ain't just now stop not mattering. Black lives ain't never matter. Because like I said, he was going straight and the postal truck pulled out in front of him. And we never even went to court. And so it's just that there was something I said I wanted to say. There is no one better than. My mom used to always tell me too when I was growing up, and I don't think nobody at this table family probably ever taught them hatred. Never. My mom used to tell me ain't nobody better than you, nobody less than you. And that the N word is not the color of your skin. It's a no good, low down, dirty person, which can be a person of any race. So this, like I say, and I think a lot of times this is where my strength have come from with the things that my parents always taught me. And like Tan say, was poor and didn't even realize we was poor. Because we had so much love. We had Miss Ruth, we had Miss Dubo, we had Mother, we had Mama. We were just a community. And if one person had a fish, the whole community had the fish. And I am just so blessed to have my village that I have now. I know it's just so much history that we can't even begin to tell. I mean, this is just a snippet of some of the things. Like I said, I didn't want to talk about King. I didn't want to talk about Obama. I didn't want to talk about, Jerome gave me this book over here with the Tuskegee Airmen. You know how they was never honored. It's just so much history that is mind-boggling that, it would take a lifetime. But let me ask African Americans out there that you start teaching your own child your own history. It's not up to anybody else to teach us who we are. You have to teach who we are and stop thinking our stuff ain't good enough. If I'm a black restaurant, I'm not good enough. If I'm a black college, I'm not good enough. If I'm a black doctor, I'm not good enough. And I don't say go to nobody that don't treat you right. Because ain't nobody gonna get my money that don't treat me right. But give us a chance. Because the white people give me a chance. So give me a chance. You see what I'm saying? I'm just being honest with you. So we have got to as well know who we are and stop playing God. It's easy to play him. Because one thing about it, man can't get you to heaven. Because God knows your heart. So you can pretend you sit in church every Sunday. But God knows. He knows who real and who ain't real. So, I ain't trying to be no preacher. This is just BJ's story. This is just who I am. This is who Theodore Clark and Liz Chester and Alcenia AJ's baby girl. This is who they created. And I have a strong, but my cousins and stuff like Thelma went to, I think, what is that? Thelma went to Jackson State or Valley. Frankie went to Jackson State. My cousin Sandra went to Tuskegee. Tougaloo. We always had people going to college. My grandfather's theme was first, God. Second was family. Third was education. That's
Thelma
what it is.
Hickman said that Benny Thompson is from Bosa, Mississippi. She think that's who you're talking about, Benny Thompson.
Benny. Yeah. Benny Thompson. Okay, yeah. That's the one with the movie, something special that the Lord has made.
Benny Thompson.
Benny Thompson. And like I even had some medical students to come in, and they didn't even know who he was. Lately, I'm talking about in the last 5 or 6 years, they had never heard of Benny Thompson. So how can this man discover this surgery? You in medical school, you work at UT, just keep it real. But you don't know nothing about your history. There's nothing being talked about with the contribution to African American. Jimmy, you graduated from Vanderbilt. Was anything ever talked about black history?
Well, I did engineering, so.
But I'm just saying, but right, it didn't matter in the morning, which I know you don't have to even say you got to take black studies, but
It's a requirement in the morning, though. The morning is required.
I know, but I'm just saying, but still in the history book, because even if he took American, but even if he took American history or world history, I told this professor I had at the University of Memphis, I had to get out of there. I said, history is written for those who write it. So even if it's American history, even if it's our world history, how can you leave out black history? How can you leave it out? But it's left out. So that's why I say history is written for those who write it. So it's just like these books are here was written by black people, all these books I have. So there's nothing about African or Caucasian in here. So history is written for those who write it. But there's no way in American history and world history that you shouldn't have the contribution that African American made, no matter what college you go to. So that's why it's up to the parents. So now it's up to you. These parents that have younger kids, and even if you Jimmy age, older, you need to start knowing your history. Because if you don't know where you came from, you don't know where you're going. And we didn't make music cussing folks out and talking about females. We made music like, I'm black and I'm proud. And we walk around with these big old afros, big enough. We had pride in what we did. Because we was taught that. Hanging down and stuff. Yeah.
No, they didn't dress like that.
No.
We didn't do that.
No. Now you take your kids to church, no matter what. God, you got to have God in kids' life. And you teach them, when they get grown, they do whatever they want to do. You don't have no control over that. But my mom, what we said, my mom, you bring up a child and wait the Bible, he should go, and when it's old, he will not depart. So even if they leave, they'll go back to it. Anybody else say anything? Jimmy Tan?
Sarah Jackson says, preach.
I ain't trying to preach, y'all. I want y'all to say something. Give me some facts.
Mary Livermore Williams says, good show, very informative. Frankie Williams said Tougaloo, I think he.
Yeah, she went to Tougaloo, yeah. Yeah.
Stacey Williams got a long.
Who did?
Stacey Williams.
Take that off and read it, baby.
Ooh, it's real long.
Okay, read it. That's okay. Yeah, read it.
You want to read it?
Yeah.
Get to Tan if you want to.
Vivian Theodore Thomas.
Oh, no, she got something she trying. Oh,
No,
that's
that's
it.
the
Okay,
same.
okay. Say who it's from.
It's from Stacey Williams.
Okay.
I think it's a little biography of Vivian Theodore Thomas. He was an American laboratory supervisor who developed a procedure used to treat blue baby syndrome. Blue baby syndrome in the 1940s. He was the assistant to surgeon Alfred Blalock in Blaylock's experimental animal laboratory at Vanderbilt University in Nashville, Tennessee.
And you went to Vanderbilt, but you never heard about it. And then they later went to Johns Hopkins.
And later at the Johns Hopkins University. He served as supervisor of the surgical laboratories at Johns Hopkins for 35 years. In 1976, Hopkins awarded him an honorary doctorate and named him an instructor of
But not in
surgery.
doctorate, but not in
honorary
medicine.
doctorate,
Yeah.
yes. And named him an instructor of surgery for the Johns Hopkins School of Medicine. Without any education past high school, Thomas rose above poverty and racism to become a cardiac surgery pioneer and a teacher of operative techniques to many of the country's most prominent surgeons.
Taught himself. That's why the movie is called something that the Lord has made. Because see what God got for you, nobody can stop that. Anybody else, baby?
That's true.
T, did you find something to read from Susan Taylor?
Yeah.
She was the editor. I used to buy all her books too. Called In the Spirit, and she yeah.
Lessons in Living by
Okay.
Susan L. Taylor. And I just found this little one little paragraph that I read. It said, life is a journey back to God, and our relationships are the road we travel. They are our call to love, our call to discover the love that God is. That is God. They are the path along which we learn to apply the spiritual lessons that are so easy to articulate but so difficult to live.
And I think Frederick Douglass, I think if I'm right, is the one that say there is no success without a struggle. So, if we think, like I say, there is no, Pastor Jackson, I think, used to say microwave success. The same thing Devon Franklin is talking about. You can't take the elevator. You got to take the steps. And just imagine in a race. And that's what he talked about in his book about how you give. Just imagine if everybody gave and we were all didn't have poverty, that we didn't have. It should be a homeless person in the world. Just imagine we gave $1, just $1 out of every paycheck. I always say that. And it was spent right. Then there would be no poverty. There would be no harm. Amazon, I know I order more from Amazon because, Tam, I can't stand that Jeff Bezos. Since I've been on this show, I know, but he still getting these treated. And I think somebody posted how many trillions of dollars that about 4 billionaires have made since March. Just imagine, I lost my thought, but just imagine though, if everybody, I talked to somebody in Australia and they said how the crime rate is almost zero and how they don't even carry guns. Now we supposed to live in the world's greatest country, but we got people starving to death.
Yeah.
And then you still want to justify, and then, sometimes I feel as an African American business owner that you think you're entitled. But you think you're entitled, I think I'm more entitled. Because I have worked harder. I got it harder because of the color of my skin. I'm a female, and it's just hard. And you shouldn't have to scuffle. Nobody should have to scuffle in this world of God. We are all God's people. God made all of us. Like my mama say, ain't nobody better than you. Ain't nobody less than you. And I refuse to give in. I will not stop speaking my piece. The girl on Channel 13 told me the other day, I remind her of Nat Turner. But I don't know what purpose I'm left here. And also, family, Wednesday, what is Wednesday? Whatever day Wednesday is, Channel 13 is interviewing me from 5 o'clock, I think, to 9:45 live. And I'll be talking about my Black history, my family history. So anybody in Memphis, Tennessee, please tune in to Channel 13. Like I say, God is still blessing, and even though I'm crazy, they still ask me to talk. They know I'm gonna say what's on my mind. Let's see. Then the bread pudding. Those ain't now one of them. Jimmy the only one got a piece left, probably because he's been over there doing the thing.
I just got a little bit Tan's all gone.
Tan's gone, yeah. But if you're in Memphis and you want it for Valentine or some mini cakes, please come down and we can still cook them and have them for you next week. And you also can order the bread pudding at www.alcenias.com. And family, please go on, and the ones that are not members on our YouTube Live, Alcenia Family with Southern Girl, please go ahead and subscribe. I mean, that's another way that I can bring in income. Next week, we'll be doing a Valentine's show, so we'll be a little bit lighter and crazy, and with the doc. And he gonna make another, his alky self, he gonna make another drink. Diane Chester talking about she can't wait to get that drink. Jerome didn't never come on, because Jerome was a history major.
I don't think so, unless he has a different, goes by.
No, Jay Chester. What you saying, the time is 1 o'clock?
No, it's 2:30.
Oh, I'm sorry, fam. I'm sorry. Jim, don't hit my Southern Girl
I
stuff.
didn't go to church today, so I guess I'll do
Okay, Jimmy. There you go, being funny. I'm gonna roll my fingers. 15 minutes, break it up. Family, you know, every time somebody get on phone, Sarah Jackson be telling me, and Sarah called me the other night. I bet we talked 3 hours. She said, you will have to call you on the day I'm out. Because Lord knows it's going to be a long conversation. Jimmy, come on here, Southern Girl, so we can get out of here. And we might go take a picture. I want to go take a picture in front of I'm a Man.
It's really cold.
Oh, it's real cold. So we have to do it another day. So people that's not a part of our Memphis family, but love you, family. I did not realize. Anybody said one comment before we leave?
No, ma'am. We're all coming together.
You don't know. You Jimmy, anybody say anything, she'd do any kind.
Doc says, good show. Dee says, Doc, love those drinks. Frankie Williams says, I think life would be very boring if there was no struggle. The problem comes when the haves want to put their foot on the have-nots.
That's exactly right. No, right. We don't have struggle. I don't have a problem with that. But I have a problem with you because the color of my skin, and you don't feel like I'm deserving. And Memphis is still a perfect city of that. So I'm just telling you like it is. Memphis really have certain people in this city that think they're entitled, and whatever little bit they give you, you're supposed to be happy.
Them people say
Right.
great job.
Thank you. Be happy and go on. But the Southern Girl gonna get hers. Like I say, mess with me. Don't mess with my jeans.
Going out.
Yeah, get up there. Baby, come on.
Continue this conversation
Hey!
on Black History
Hey!
Lessons every Sunday.
Come on, baby. Don't mess with my Jesus. Mess with me. Come on, Tam. But don't mess with my Jesus. Hey, my Jesus. Love your mama. Love your daddy. Love your donos. Love your Alcenia after me. Neil Tamayo. That mean purpose for Neil. HS. Alcenia. Chester. Baby girl. Betty George. Kitty Keys. Go on out. Who baby girl are you? Come on home. Who baby girl are you?
Bobby Spirit. We said that already.
Hey, we ain't no way there.
Baby girl. Hey, Jimmy. Who baby song are you? Hey. Karen Sanders. And Jimmy Sanders.